Broadcasting live, it's Cream Pie Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And now for your hosts, give it up for Josh and Rick.
Oh, yeah.
Special guest this week, everybody, Koenke. Local Charlotte comic, hilarious guy. Took a minute or two to find the groove with a guest in person, so we're just going to fast forward for the first minute or two. Podcast starts right after that. Enjoy. We knocked it out. We're good. We're fucking here. We're queer.
Is that the intro?
Oh yeah, we can just keep rolling from here if you want. We're here. We're queer. The Three Musketeers.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Hello, Chris. Nice to meet you. I heard you're a comedian.
He thinks he is.
That's one way of putting it.
A real comic.
I put myself out there. I'll leave it at that.
There you go.
Damn, I jammed him in the closet for this podcast.
I'm more handsome in person.
Did you chain his ankle to the wall like you said you would?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very tight. I'm very binded. I shit you not. Rick, you can't see it. I know I'm trapped in this closet, but if I walk right out, there is a cowboy's blanket folded up right by his door. I can't think of anything more ironic than to come out of the closet to find cowboy memorabilia.
Probably a pretty crusty blanket too, J-Man. Lots of tears.
Yeah, a lot of semen, mostly. Sad semen, beating off in those nights of disappointment.
That's a disappointment. When you come, do you scream, it's our year, into the blanket, or?
No, it's never our year.
I hear otherwise whenever I talk to a Cowboy fan, but I'm in a Jets hat right now, and they're playing the Eagles today, so I don't really see myself as hopeful right now.
Jets are horrible.
That's something I've come to terms with. As he's telling me, my team is fucking dog shit.
Fuck the Jets.
Yo, I saw that the Jets have never beat the Eagles ever.
No, never. Unless you want to count preseason, not once.
How many games have they played? Like 20, 25 over the years?
Well, you think about it, they play every 4 years.
Well, now it's every 2 because I think with the new added game to the schedule, they had the Eagles in 2021 and they had their backup quarterback in and they still managed to whoop us. So I think the record's 0-12, which is to say a franchise exists that hasn't beat 31 other teams is, and they're coming back for vengeance. That's Super Bowl. I mean, some people.
Nobody likes the Jets or the Eagles. Rick, how was your week?
It was good, man. I went to Salem yesterday. I did some spooky bullshit, and I just want to give a little rant here because it was weird. So
Absolutely.
Salem, Massachusetts, obviously Massachusetts, pretty close to Boston, so it just smelled. I've got a pretty keen nose for the marijuana nowadays,
of course.
And all the weed I smelled exactly the same. It smelled like spicy, dirty body odor weed, just that weed where you're just like, oh, who would buy that, dude?
Yeah.
Whole freaking weekend I smelled that, but we went to we did like a witch dungeon tour, so they did like a little like reenactment of like a trial for these people that would get accused of witchcraft and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting up there and I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty accurate. And then I realized like, I guess they had COVID back then. The lady that's accused is wearing a black fucking COVID mask. I'm like, damn it, dude, can't even fucking avoid it here.
Yeah.
There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
That's hilarious.
I often myself wear 2 masks.
But they had like one of the real wooden beams from like the stage that they used to hang people on. They had it downstairs, so I touched it. So I might be possessed now. I don't know yet, but
damn. You know,
yeah.
Rogan talks about this all the time, and I heard a lot of people talk. It's the ergot, dude, is why the Salem witch trials happened. So they had a particularly like late frost, and they think because they've taken samples from like the years that the Salem witch trials happened, and they think the ergot was in the crops or whatever, which is like a almost like a mold that has LSD type properties to it. So they think like the whole town of Salem, Massachusetts was dosing themselves unknowingly with LSD for like a year because of a late frost, and they were hallucinating. You know what I mean? So they thought they were a bunch of witches.
So that's what they said. They said basically they blamed the poor crops on, well, because they're all Bible bangers back then. So they blamed it on the devil. And then, so what was it? They accused 200 people of witchcraft. They hung 19. Yep. And there was one guy that they accused. And basically they would torture these people for like a week straight. Mm-hmm. Until they admitted to being a witch. That's why, like, after the first guy, they're like, oh, I think we're onto something. And then they just kept doing it and torturing like 10-year-old girls to like do this shit. But
horrible.
There was some hardo who did not admit to it, and they killed him by they dug like a shallow grave and they put a piece of like wood on him, and they just kept putting boulders on it until it eventually crushed him and killed him.
Yeah.
But the senator of Massachusetts heard about it, and that in it was basically that story is why the Salem witch trials ended, is because this guy basically said "F you," and he didn't succumb to it, and they just like tortured him to death like in the square until he just died. So
that fucking blows.
Thank you, your guy, whoever the f that was. But yeah, I guess he stopped it because Senator saw it and he's like, wow, there's something going on here back in the 1600s. So
they're like, yeah, dude, that guy just got crushed. He was a good witch. He didn't even fucking crack until the end.
But and then that guy's last word is, "I put a curse on you." It's like, you can't just like throw that out at the end and kind of contradict this whole torture thing. So whatever.
Yeah, like you went that long, you're about to die, and they're gonna ruin all your suffering. You know?
Yeah, dude.
It's kind of funny because you always say, I wonder how true it is. Like, oh well, you either gotta admit you're a witch and we're gonna kill you, or you die so you aren't a witch. You know what I mean? It's like either way you're dying. It's kind of, as soon as you're accused of being a witch, you're fucked. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like the whole play thing was like this older lady saying like they're using all this old terminology that you'd only hear in like old timey whatever, and and the lady's like, yeah, you held me down and you made me write in your devil's book and I've got proof, and then she would like bite herself so she starts bleeding like in the courtroom. She's like, you guys didn't see that? It was so fucking wacky back then. Like as crazy as all the laws and stuff are now, back then it was way worse, dude. It was just ridiculous.
People are just fucking full out retarded back then, dude. Like it wasn't that long ago either.
Yeah, that's how I would have put it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think?
I feel like holding down and made me write in your devil's book would lead to some great erotica if people were in that mindset back then. If you would have put it in those terms today, I feel like that would have sold really well on Amazon. You just have a Patrick Bateman looking motherfucker with his boot on some chick's throat. You're a witch. You're a witch.
Bingo. Little BDSM.
It would have been great.
Yeah.
That's true. Good. It was a whole just like walking through a bunch of streets that are just for walking, and a bunch of costumes and like dudes with like 13-foot high Frankenstein costumes, and they go up to a little kid and they fall over onto him, and they're like, ah!
This is like abusing.
There was some.
That's the best.
Some dude
abusing
dressed up
children
like
at a fair.
Yeah, some dude dressed up as Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean, just like dancing slow motion, and like to like dudes playing on buckets and shit. So no, it was cool.
Yeah. Dude, I was convinced you could go to one of those fairs or something and just be dressed up and just pretend you worked there, and like you wouldn't get busted.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I wonder how many of those performers were breaking character from the contact high they were getting from that brown shit weed that was being smoked throughout the entire place. Just that whole stumbling momentum is just caused by waves of marijuana being passed throughout the entire park.
Good point, actually.
Like, is this guy doing a gig, or is he just really that fucked up?
Yeah. This guy's dressed like Johnny Depp. No, he's just fucked up in a pirate shirt.
It's like, no, I just bought bad shit from some guy that was over down by Fenway. And I don't know. I think I might have to go to the hospital. Just start a recreation of another Salem witch trial through a reenactment of the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
Chris, do you watch South Park at all? Any of the recent seasons?
No, I see clips come up here and there though, because they hone in really well on current events. So, I mean, if there's something in the news about China or whatever's going on, I don't sit and watch an entire episode usually.
Yeah. They had well, Josh, you probably will know this then, when the witching episode where Randy and all the dads are smoking crack and drinking Jack Daniels up on a mountain.
Oh yeah.
It's just like that's basically what I picture. Is just like people actually getting possessed in Salem, and they're smoking just crack and
just fucked up. Yeah, yeah.
It's good though, dude.
Especially if those crops got them high, like they were unknowingly fucked up. If you don't know you're getting dosed, and it's like the 1600s, I would think they were fucking witches. Of course. Especially if like the priest, the local priest, is telling me witches are real and shit, and like they got sent up by the devil to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're just trying to harvest grain to survive the winter. and then you end up hallucinating for 4 fucking months, and it's like, oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah, dude.
We ate people? We put people on trial because we thought they were witches?
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
And now here we are, like, we're literally 3 people later now, and we're fucking getting on, nuclear wars, practically. World War III's right around the corner. Oh, man, I don't even want to talk about what's going on. I think you guys are very well aware of the horrible tragedy that happened last week. And to be honest with you, I would give it a 5 out of 10, Drake's new album.
Yeah, way to keep it on a positive note. You really had me going there. I thought we were going to be talking about Israel and Hamas.
Wait, what is that? What does hummus have to do with any of this?
Jesus Christ. Yo, to be honest, I kind of know what's going on over there, but I really don't, because I live in my own little bubble. Basically, this whole podcast every week is Josh going, "Have you heard about this?" And I say, "No." And then it's just that for an hour, like every Sunday. That's typically how this rolls.
I got a funny story about that. So,
oh Christ! Well, if it's gonna get us canceled, take it easy.
No. The day the Maui fire started, he's blowing up my phone. I'm over at a coworker's party. I've been drinking all afternoon. I've been swimming in the backyard. I open my phone after not being on it for 7 hours to just a string of text. He's like, "Oh yeah, so I was over down in Hawaii smoking cigarettes with my rich friend yuppies." And I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And he goes, "You think this would be a good opener for my set on Wednesday?" I'm like, I don't know. Maybe try it. Maybe you can go somewhere with that. Maybe it'll work. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, I was so wrong about that. I had no idea what you were talking about. I just thought you were rambling like some douchebag. Meanwhile, he's up on more current events than I'll ever know about.
Yeah, I could speak to the Israel-Palestine thing, I suppose. I kind of know what's going on. I mean, I'm not into like that either. And I'm not on one side or the other, really. So I don't want to comment in a way that's going to piss half the people off. I will say one thing about it, and then we can move on. Okay. I do think it's hilarious. Not hilarious. Obviously, it's not hilarious, but I find it amusing that all these preconceived notions and checklists on both sides of the political aisle are breaking down because of the Israel thing. Because you have people that are like Hollywood elite types or like oligarchs, people that are in power that are all pro-Israel. And we should be pro-Israel. United States and Israel are allies, of course. But then you have these woke lefties that Hollywood elites typically agree with that are like free Palestine types. And then you have people like Amy Schumer coming out being like, I think that college campuses are too woke. And you're like, yeah, we've been fucking saying that for 10 years. Now this is the one thing where they draw the line on, though. It's just funny that like people like Amy Schumer who are pro-Israel are like now disagreeing with the woke college types that are like pro, like free Palestine. And then you have people like the Black Lives Matter Chicago, the day it happened, put out something like "We stand with Palestine" with a fucking picture of somebody parachuting. And they had to delete it. Because those people parachuting down, like, executed babies, basically. And fucking Black Lives Matter posted that they're cool with that. And they had to delete it, but not before they got 10,000 likes. So I just think it's interesting that Dan Crenshaw and Joe Biden are on the same side of an issue. And so are the Hollywood elites. And then, like, the young, woke, crazy lefty people are like free Palestine who now disagree with them. It's just an interesting thing to look from the outside, if that makes sense. Anyways, that's what I'm saying about it.
Josh,
I think what you're getting at.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off, Eric.
No, you're good. No, I think what you're going at, Josh, is we should probably accuse Amy Schumer of witchcraft, because I want to see that fat bitch break the cross when we tie her up there. And
yeah,
did they crucify the witches? I don't know. Maybe we should just crucify her as well.
Oh my God.
I fucking hate Amy Schumer, dude.
I think they just stoned him. But more importantly, I sort of lost track of that rant for a bit. Because as soon as you said the name Amy Schumer, I was like, I don't think the world's been taken by storm from a statement she's released in about 8 years. I had no idea she commented on the issue.
To be honest with you, I I was just using her as a generic fill-in place because I know for a fact that she commented on it just because she's Amy Schumer. I don't know what the comment was. I don't know what she said. I just know that she commented on it, and I guarantee she's probably pro-Israel because she's that type of person. Does that make sense?
As in she's Jewish?
Is Schumer a Jewish name? I honestly don't know if she's Jewish or not, but
No, she is.
And Chuck Schumer is in government, who is her uncle, and she's in Hollywood, kind of, right? So there's a good chance she's Jewish.
Well, she got into the business through her Judaism, and then she
I like
got
your
her
resp- I
leads
like the way you look.
because she doesn't look Jewish.
Yeah, and she stole a bunch of good comedians' jokes for 10 years, and that's how she made it as a comic.
Yeah, you can't have a brunette with Down syndrome bangs and a hook nose taking some of those roles. Like, you couldn't have her. What movie was she in with John Cena? What the fuck? Oh, Trainwreck. You couldn't have someone that with that appearance as the female lead in Trainwreck. You're like, this chick. I don't think she'd be trying to sleep with John Cena just from confidence alone.
If she looked like a Jew?
Yeah, I didn't want to repeat I didn't want to repeat the brunette with Down syndrome bangs and a hook nose.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
I don't really know what the demographic is for this audience.
here's the thing. Hamas started it this time around, but it's been an ongoing conflict for a very long time. I think the United States should support its allies. I think that both sides have done horrible things to each other. And I hope that it gets resolved and some sort of agreement comes out, and it's horrible what's happening. Anyways, that's our hot political take of the week. What do you think about moving on?
Well,
I say we nuke them and just take all their oil. Fuck them. Who cares?
Yeah, okay.
They might not even have oil. Just nuke them.
Well, I was planning a summer vacation to Hamas, so I feel like that compromises just about
Hamas
what
is
I
the
wanted to
organization.
do.
Hamas is not a geographical place. It's an organization that controls a place.
Can't you tell I'm well informed on this?
I still don't understand what hummus has to do with this whole thing.
Hummus?
Yeah, they both like hummus.
Well, that's one thing they could all agree on.
It's funny because Israel and Palestine both like hummus, and it sounds like Hamas. There's got to be a joke in there somewhere.
Yo, real talk. When's the last time you saw a commercial for hummus? Why can't they just show like a bunch of images from what's going on in like slow motion and just be like, bring us together, hummus?
So you're thinking like the Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial with police brutality, but you want it with Jews and Muslims coming together over some good chickpea sauce?
Yeah, dude.
I feel like that'd be pretty progressive. You might be onto something there, Rick.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know, man. They might have a misfire. I mean, back in World War II, there was we were fighting the Germans, and it was like Christmas, and they called a ceasefire all day, so nobody got shot that day. So maybe we just need hummus to bring us together like the Nazis did, you know?
Just the missile to go slightly to the left.
Yeah. I stand with Israel. I don't know whatever.
I would say this is
whatever
going
you're
off the
supposed
rails,
to say. Whatever you're supposed
I
to
would
say.
say this is
I'm
going
saying
off the rails, but we haven't been on the rails this whole time.
No, it's never been on the rails. We've been fucking
We're
off-road. Not even in like an off-road vehicle, in a fucking caboose. We've been off-road.
I'm still trying to get acclimated to having a conversation with everybody, knowing one of the lead men is in the next room, and God, it's just eating away at me.
I think it's fucking fruitcake over here.
Fruitcake.
What a cute picture we got of him too. So we got to talk about Cam Haines, and we got to tag him in this week.
That's your buddy, the guy that was talking shit.
Well, yeah.
So
apparently, they opened a good dialogue together, and it went really well.
I'll tell you what. What we could do, Rick, if you don't mind, in this part, super easy to do. I'll just send you like 2 pictures of the screenshots of the Instagram conversation. Throw them up over fucking Ding Dong's face here, if you don't mind, just for a minute.
Okay.
So you guys can see. And I'm going to ask your guys' opinion on it, because I was trolling a little bit, but not really. Because Cam Haines, I'm a big fan of. For those of you that don't know, Cam Haines has been on Rogan a bunch of times. He's keep hammering. He's friends with David Goggins. He runs like ultra marathons. He's a very inspirational cat, you know? And I've always looked up to him. He's the best bow hunter, if not one of the best bow hunters to ever exist. Like, he's so accurate with a bow and arrow. Great archer, great dude all around. He posted a video on Instagram about how he's never called in sick for work ever in his entire life, and how you have to have that mentality to be successful. And I saw the video and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, why does that make sense though? Like, if you've got earned PTO and you're actually sick, wouldn't it be detrimental to the company for you to go in sick and get a bunch of other people sick? Wouldn't it be a net loss for the company? What benefit are you? Also, you're going to be sick for longer if you're like working with the flu. Your flu's going to be around longer. It doesn't make sense. So I commented, I'm like, or just use your PTO and don't work for a company that treats you so poorly they get mad when you call in sick. And then he commented back and he's like, oh yeah, like it's that simple, right? I was like, yeah, it kind of is. Like, explain why it's not. And then he's like, I've never called in sick once in my life. Deal with it. I'm like, dude, I'm dealing with it. I just don't think this makes sense. So what do you guys think?
I think that's some grade A trolling on your end, Josh, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you're trolling, and I'm a pretty decent troll myself. But then again, I went to school every single day for like 6 years.
Yeah.
And I remember senior year, they told me that I wouldn't get perfect attendance because I showed up late, because I had to take the school bus to the middle school to walk to the high school, and because I was late, they wouldn't give me perfect attendance.
Yeah.
And then I started saying fuck it, and I was like sick every Monday or whatever it was. But I mean, for me, it was, I didn't want to miss school. I mean, work is different because I don't give a shit about work, but school was different because I didn't want to fall behind, because the whole, like, you got to do twice the amount of work today just to catch up, that always freaked me out.
right.
So I can understand going to school when you're sick and not being 100%. But this guy's also like a David Goggins, like, generic boner. So it's,
right.
he's just, I mean, he's on his own little fucking tier, dude. He's up there on Mount Olympus looking down on everybody. So if he wants to be up there and just be flexing his freaking,
It's also,
nut, let him.
I just want to say, like, he's very successful. A lot of that is luck. I mean, obviously the hard work, but for every fucking Cameron Haynes, there's 1,000 people like Cameron Haynes who don't have Cameron Haynes' success in books, in hunting, and all this other stuff. A lot of it is hard work, obviously. And you want to talk about fucking hard work? I work 7 days a fucking week, not including comedy and podcasts. When I'm not at your wedding or your bachelor party for the past fucking 3 months, I haven't had a day off of work. So I don't call in sick either, but I'm not sick. But if I had like the fucking flu, or if I had to get surgery, he's just like, I never call in sick. If you call in sick, that's the wrong mentality. I think that's fucking stupid. Now, obviously, you don't want to be one of those schmucks that takes advantage of a company and uses unnecessary sick days, right? You don't want to be that piece of shit. But also, there's a reason why, like, workers have fought to have good benefits and get taken care of by the people that employ them too. You know what I mean? Like, what about all the labor unions that fought for, like, good benefits? Like, you're just going to throw that in the trash and, like, let the company treat you like an expendable piece of garbage that if you call in sick, you get fired? That's fucking ridiculous, is it not?
Yeah, but is he self-employed, or does he work for a company? Because if you're like doing your own thing, like, you can do whatever you're doing if you're your own boss.
He's self-employed now, I think, but he was employed for the longest time by a company. And he's saying, when I worked for that company, I never called in sick once because they didn't care if I was sick or not. And I was like, well, yeah, if they don't care, then call in. You got PTO, dumbass. What are you talking about?
I would say, if he's taking it upon himself to say, you know what, I want to be there while I'm going through this ailment, it'll make me feel better about myself. I'll sleep better at night. I don't think that really reflects the employer. I do have a question for you, Josh. Was there like any hook, line, and sinker you kind of baited him with to make sure he knew that you were somewhat of a troll here? Or were you just, was this like a full lashing out on his end? Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No. I just thought it was funny that he got mad enough that he was commenting back, because I think I had a solid argument at first. But then I said, follow-up question though, why are you arguing with people on Instagram? And he was like, I was like, the only thing more depressing than working when you're sick for no reason is arguing with random people on Instagram. And he was like, oh, what? I'm not allowed to comment on my own posts? I was like, no, not really. Like, what are you doing wasting your time with this shit? So, but whatever. And then he deleted those, I think. But I've got him screenshotted, bitch.
Yeah, I think you're throwing pebbles at the fucking Statue of Liberty here, J-Man.
Well,
when you need to be dropping pennies off the Empire State Building, we got to get better with this troll. We got to get better with this troll game.
I'm not a troll, motherfucker. I just thought it was interesting that I got into a quasi argument with Cam Hanes on Instagram over something stupid that he's being a fucking total knob about. Also, I'm a Cam Hanes fan. So whatever though, Cam.
Well, is there anything you'd like to say to him if he comes across this video?
Yeah, dude.
He won't.
Yeah. Why don't you call out and fight me like a real man? Like,
why don't you if you're so passionate about your opinion that you're willing to comment on it, why don't you invite me and Rick on your podcast to fucking talk about why you're a fucking knob job, and then we can talk about it on there, or respond to us in a video, or clip this and respond to it in your own way, or explain why your position is correct, that you should literally work every day of your life for a company that doesn't care about you and never use sick days ever. Explain why that makes any goddamn sense at all.
I want to see this soundbite get trimmed up on Reels, and then you just see like the stitch incoming ... under his page, and then it's like, hi Josh, this is what I really wanted to tell you, and then he just goes into this awful rant and just doubles down on everything he said in his own comment section.
That's great. That would be great for the podcast, and I hope he does do that, and then I get to make a follow-up video response, and then we can just go back and forth for like a week.
Yeah, maybe learn how to drag this out.
Yeah. We're looking for clout.
I feel like I need to go put my helmet on. This is fucking retarded, dude. Jesus.
This is going to be the thing that makes Cream Pie Sunday big, Rick. Don't you understand?
Bro, we surpassed 30,000 views. We're already as big as we're going to get. It's just going to stop here.
Well, that's why you guys brought me on as a guest.
Yeah, we're the celebratory. Well, he's not on video, so he's got to take his shirt off and do a dance for us.
Yeah. This just goes to show how fucking desperate you two are.
You know what? I'm going to come in that closet and beat the shit out of you.
I'm not going to stop you because there's nowhere for me to go. I might have to smother you in your Dallas Cowboy cum rag, but that's about it. I had a similar situation. It wasn't a famous person posting on their account, but there was a video I came across on TikTok. It was a Vice clip, and you know that they have like almost a debate show where the forum's like this black backdrop, and they have 5 people from one side, 5 people from the other. They have a moderator, and they sort of argue like it's a debate forum.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound okay? So they were it was Christians and atheists or agnostics debating over whether or not God would accept, I guess, a gay person as one of his own children. Would he look past the sin? And there was a clip of this Freddie Mercury looking motherfucker dressed like Dracula speaking. He was very well spoken, but it was almost drawn out, like he was doing a monologue. He's like, I don't understand why somebody would look at somebody's own personal, like that's how he was talking. Okay. And I go to the comments, and my exact words were, I didn't attack his point. I didn't say make my peace with the argument. All I said was, why is this guy speaking like he's doing a monologue?
Uh-huh.
I shit you not. I have the screenshot pulled up right here. He said, we all choose how we speak and act. Some just don't conform to social norms. People with closed minds get weirded out by freedom of expression. And to that, I kept it clean because I didn't want to get flagged for a community guideline. I go, if my mother were to hear me talking like that, she'd bop me on the nose with a knuckle sandwich. Those are my exact words.
Right.
He comes back with, oh, straight, no name calling. She raised you right, apparently. Love you. Seems though bops taught you how to communicate aggressively as a default. This motherfucker goes to my page, finds a video where I made a joke about a guy at a bar ordering like a daiquiri or a girly martini. And he comments, oh, okay, so So you're one of those, you pose about not being gay and flopping dicks and call men effeminate for some sweet drinks, but it's okay. Be you and open up. And he doubled down on that. He's like, oh yeah, you're just one of those closeted who doesn't know how to cope with his own frustration.
Oh, so he's calling you a That's ironic.
All because I just questioned the way he was talking. I found it very condescending, but I
It's so
found the
funny.
whole thing very funny.
It's the idea of a gay guy calling a straight guy a is kind of funny. To me.
And now here I am.
By the way,
in the fucking closet talking to you two jackoffs. Hoping
How
the only
ironic
thing
is
that'll
this
keep
right
me
now?
warm
By the
in
way-
this house is a Dallas Cowboy blanket covered in cum.
two things. Number one,
And I have to, my first appearance on a podcast ever. And now I got to like double down and just tell everybody, like just set the record straight that I am not a homosexual man.
two things. Number one, I only said because it was a quote. So I'm allowed to say it when it's a quote of another person.
Yeah,
Second
you're quoting
thing,
someone else on this podcast.
second thing, that story was so long you had to take a drink of water in the middle. Did you notice that, Rick?
Don't divulge the mystique. You're not, people aren't supposed to know you could see me right now. I'm cooped up in a 5x5 fucking cell.
He's losing his mind, dude.
I know.
You're like Ryan Reynolds in that coffin movie.
I know. You're going to have to cough me up to like 2 minutes for an hour-long podcast. This might as well be like a segment call-in.
You know what'd be hilarious, Rick? Is if we just cut out everything Chris says and just he's not even gonna guess anymore.
We're just
That'd be
talking to somebody that you can't hear. Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
No, what you got to do is you have to like cut me out right as I'm starting to talk and then just have it come back to one of you two.
Right. Yeah,
And then
that'd be
everybody's like,
funnier.
who the hell is that guy?
Every time he starts to talk, we just cut him off so they can tell he's saying something and then it skips over him.
And then you
You
got to
could also just, you could do a deep edit. So just take out his audio completely and then you do the,
My name's Chris. I like fruity pebbles.
and like, yeah, I agree.
That's such a funny example. My name's Chris. I like fruity bell. Yeah, I agree. That's good. Good point, dude. That's funny.
Hilarious.
Oh man.
Just Chris, what do you have to say about this? I'm a gay boy.
Drake's new album was sick. I'm a sad boy too.
I love how J. Cole buried Drake on his own song, and that's the only good song in the whole album. I like how Drake is like fucking almost 40 years old and still rapping like he's 21 years old. It's like enough, dude. Jesus Christ. First of all, nobody's scared of the 6. Stop talking about the 6. Like, it's such a gimmick now. Like, every fucking song he has to mention the 6. Dude, nobody gives a fuck about Toronto at all. Like, you and The Weeknd are from Toronto. Cool. Nobody else.
I think the
doesn't
problem
matter.
is he was like that biracial kid from freaking Degrassi, and everybody
Yeah.
was like, oh, he's like that like kind of like cool dude from high school making music.
Yep.
And then he just
Yep.
blew up bigger than he ever could expect. And it's like, well, why is he not going to rap about throwing $1 million at a strip club in a single night? You know, because that's what he's doing. You know,
I guess so.
It's like it's evolved to the point that his original listeners don't listen to him anymore because it's like, this isn't Aubrey. Like, who is this guy? You know?
It's
I just think it's funny.
It's like it gets old after the 25th album is all I'm saying. Like his past 7 albums have been trash. He hasn't made a good album in fucking 10 years. But whatever. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I haven't listened to a Drake album since high school, dude. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably I like 2013. I like Nothing Was the Same. I think it's still his best album ever. And then after that, kind of downhill. Although he had that one If You're Reading This Is Too Late, and that was like hard as fuck out of nowhere. That was dope.
That was
And then after that, it was like, all right, enough. Sick of it.
I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to take away my energy.
Remember that song?
Yeah. You're not a friend of me. Yeah.
Not a random.
I think it's unsettling that even after 20 years after Degrassi ended, he's still sleeping with women that are high school age.
Yeah.
That whole thing where he was waiting for Millie Bobby Brown to turn 18, I was like, what the fuck are we watching right now?
Yeah, that is kind of odd, huh?
I guess when you're famous, you can get away with it. I don't know.
Chris, how old are you?
I am 24.
24.
Days
All right,
young.
me and J-Man are both 30. I'm saying this because like even today I went out for breakfast, like coming back from Salem, and I'm going to say lady, the kid that got me the table and brought me over, I swear to God, she's like 10 years old. But that's the problem now. Everybody that's of working age is an adult, but like to me, they're like a fucking middle schooler. It's very strange, you know? It's weird to like go to a gas station and buy beer, and there's a 12-year-old scanning the fucking, you know, it's just strange to me.
I feel like there's a weird divide between millennials and Gen Z. I feel like there's a bit of an emotional block there off of the maturity levels of both generations.
Yeah.
Because both of them fucking hate each other. But
I wonder why. You know what it is? We grew up without internet too. We had both. And you guys are just fucking like the TikTok generation, like everything handed to you, 2-day delivery, Amazon since you're a baby. You know, never played outside. It's the difference between people that actually played in tree houses versus people that literally like played with Nintendo Switch since they were 5.
Okay,
Minecraft.
I was born in 99,
Minecraft.
so I still had to wait 5 to 7 business days when I was a kid. It wasn't like right at my doorstep as soon as I placed the order.
But that puts you at like young. That puts you at pretty old Gen Z though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm right in between
Like the
millennial
borderline.
and Gen Z. Yeah.
Like these younger Gen Z kids, like, you know, they are fucked in the head. Like they have fucking, you know, more pronouns than brain cells. That's just the way it is.
Well, I tend to make more of the observation as at millennial behavior than I do with people that are Gen Z, but they're like 10, 12 years younger than me. I noticed a lot of millennials when they had first grown up, like 18, 19,
Yep.
they were punching up at previous generations that I guess you want to say, mishandled finances or got special treatment because they had easier access to the American dream. And they had all this pent up anger. And then when Gen Z finally started growing up, they started punching down on us. It was like, we didn't bankrupt you from Social Security. We didn't have an affordable housing market. Why the hell are you pissed at us? You know what I mean? I didn't mean to bring the mood down with that. That just got really depressing. But I don't know if you've noticed that because I don't know the other perspective.
Yeah, dude, fucking, it sucks. Bidenomics is not working. The fucking economy's been in the shitter. Not even like since Biden, for the past 10 years. It's been fucking tough. There's this funny meme that's like, a lot of Americans feel like their parents were easier off than you are. What do you guys think about this? And like the answer is, I don't know. Let me go upstairs and ask them. Because they're fucking, I live in their fucking house. Like, you know, they had 3 kids when they were my age and fucking half their mortgage paid off. You know, I don't even have a fucking mortgage. I don't own a house. I have no fucking plan. I want to own a house. Will I ever own a house? Maybe in the next 5 years if I'm fucking lucky. I don't know. But it's not easy, man. It's not easy out there.
You pay it off for 40 years. You pay it off and you give it to your kids. That's what my parents are doing. They're basically gonna.
I'll be 75 by the time my house is paid off.
Yeah, fuck that.
If I'm lucky. Yeah, it's fucked. Not to mention, like, houses are like 3 times more expensive this year than they were even like 5 years ago. It's fucking wild.
Get yourself a double wide, baby.
I'm gonna have
a trailer park.
Even that, dude. You know what's sad? I don't think I could afford that. I don't think I could afford the mortgage for a double wide trailer now. They're like fucking 150 grand for a fucking double wide trailer. You know what's that? $1,500 a month.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be a great segue for a sponsorship plug right now. If we have any.
We don't.
Is Cam Haines selling anything that he wants us to promote?
I'm sure he's selling a bunch of shit. He's super famous. I'm sure he has a ton of sponsors. We should shit on all of them until he admits he was wrong.
We could make a fake advertisement for Cam Haines anal beads. We could
What rhymes with Haines? It could be like
butthole pains. I don't know.
Butthole pains.
Get these therapeutic anal beads for your ass.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Cam Haines.
Preparation H, short for Hanes.
Preparation Hanes. Yeah. I mean, Hanes is a brand of underwear, right?
Let's keep them out of it. They don't deserve any of this, Josh.
Yeah, good point.
They've been providing quality underpants for decades now.
Yeah.
I just asked Michael Jordan. He's on the fucking every package.
Yeah.
He's a perfect shot during hunting season and in the bedroom. Get
Yeah.
your anal beans today.
Cam Hanes duck whistles.
Yo, so I was at Salem Saturday night and I'm eating dinner. I get a call at no shit like 8:30 at night, and it's like I could tell it's a telemarketer, so I pick it up because I was like just fucking with them.
Me too.
And,
Same
they're
thing.
like, hi, is they asked for my brother. I'm like, oh, Owen died a couple years ago. And without skipping a beat, they go, oh, I'm sorry. Are you a registered voter? I'm like, are you serious? And I fucking hung up. I'm like, who are you trying to talk to here?
Yeah, they're so relentless, dude.
Crazy.
Oh man. I always
It's gotten
like
to the point.
Yeah, I keep them on the phone as long as I can just to waste their time sometimes because they're especially if I'm driving, because they're calling me, they're wasting my time. They're fucking, So I'll like answer all their questions, and at the very end I'll be like, dude, you've been on the phone with me for 15 minutes. You can't tell I'm fucking with you? And they'll be like, no. All right. And then they hang up. It's like, ha, bitch, made you waste 15 minutes.
Nothing else to do. I always get the most calls I get is from the fire department or the police department asking for donations. It's like, no, I'm not even gonna entertain
What
that
the
idea.
fuck? What the fuck are taxes for?
Yeah.
They need extra money on top of that? Well, since everybody defunded the police, I guess.
I was about to say, up in Boston, I mean, all police are union, right?
Yeah. I think. I don't
They
know.
get a pension. Is that related?
You're
don't
asking the wrong guy.
I think technically they're government workers. That's probably why they get that. I think.
Your dad was a cop, J-Man. You should know this.
Yeah, he was only a cop for a few years. And he was just a local town cop. He wasn't like it wasn't like his career or anything.
Yeah.
I was also a fucking young child when my
Yeah.
dad was a cop. So I don't remember any of that. He pulled over a guy once and let him go because he had to take a shit really bad. That's the only cop story I know. Oh, and he told me one time he showed up and like fucking a moose went through somebody's windshield and like fucking it was like his antlers were like through the guy's chest.
Yeah, that's a pretty big jump from having to take a shit.
I think that happened.
He
I think
That's
I
like
remember that.
he let a guy go after he rolled through a stop sign, and then the next day he punched some little girl at a lemonade stand because she didn't have a permit. It's like those are the two stories I have from my dad when he was a state trooper.
and then the next
You got a permit to sell lemonade, sweetheart?
Get over here, bitch!
just
Tasing-
flips the
tasing
table
logo.
and is like, next time you're on my block, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
Yeah.
You grab the little the cup with all the money, like that's my money. It's like it's mine now, bitch, and you just like runs to his car and peels out, burns out in the driveway.
Just grabs into the tip jar like the state's low on funding, sweetheart. Catch you later.
Support your local police.
Yeah. It was around the same
Blue
time
lives matter. Blue lives matter.
that incident happened around the same time The Departed came out, so they're like, that's the crooked one. That's Matt Damon.
The Departed. What a film. What a film. Classic.
Was I might have this confused, but was The Departed when like they all dress up like nuns and they like rob the bank or whatever? Or is that something different?
No.
That's
am I
the
thinking
town.
of?
The
The
That
town.
might have been some smut fill. You're getting confused.
No, that's
So
the
I'm-
town.
So I'm sitting in Salem yesterday, and some guy walks by with the nun mask and the full getup, and he had like a semi-automatic rifle, like semi-automatic rifle on his hip, and he's walking. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I can tell it's a fake gun, but it didn't have the orange tip on it. And I reach over to Emily, and I'm like, this dude, if he gets harassed by the cop, like he might get into some deep shit, because like if you're gonna carry around a weapon, you have to like
Have an orange
distinctively
on it.
show that it's a fake weapon.
Right.
But it's like he was walking like on his hip, like that he was trying to conceal it, and I'm like, I don't fucking like this dude. In 2023, I don't fuck with that.
You know, I don't want to give anybody ideas here. Why don't they just invent like a big orange tip you could put on the end of a real gun?
Or just like orange scotch, like orange painter's tape.
Yeah. Or just paint
Look
your
at
AR-15 orange. Make it look like a Nerf gun. Couldn't you do that?
And just walk into a school. Yeah, probably.
Just make it look goofy. Make it look like a Nerf gun. Maybe have like even like to go the extra effect, like have like a one of those bullet holders across the chest with Nerfs coming out of it, but you have a real gun.
like the gauntlet.
Yeah, what
double
am I thinking
fakes,
of? The bullets.
fake bullets, the straps. Yeah,
yeah, the bullet straps, but would have Nerfs, but then have a real gun. I mean, it would be a total.
it'd be a goof. It'd be a goof, total goof.
Yeah.
That'd be a good goof. But
Be a good way to cut around a lot of red tape, though, is if you just made it look as it an Armalite look like a toy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Halloween, in all seriousness, would be like the best way to get away with crime is to pretend it's part of Halloween. You know, like you could kill somebody and like throw them on your front lawn and people would think it was a decoration for like a whole day.
I was about to say, if we're painting these guns orange, I feel like seeing somebody fire off like 30 rounds in real time with something that looked like a Nerf pellet would be the most traumatizing thing, as opposed to someone with an actual gun posing as a real threat.
Right, because then you're like, that lady just died from a fucking Nerf gun. That's crazy. Nerfs are too strong these days.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's weird because I was watching people walk around like these guys were dressed up from like the movie Holes, so they had like a fake shovel with like a cardboard thing or whatever, and
Yeah.
but I'm looking at it and it's like the amount of people dressed up like Scream just walking, and then they would start like turning around and they would just follow somebody for a little bit and then they get all scared or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, that's you could easily just get away with some shit like on Halloween just dressed up, because it's like, oh, we got a guy in a Scream mask. It's like, all right, well, there's 50 of them that just walk down the street, you know?
Yeah. Just put on a Pee Wee Herman mask, walk around just beating off in public. Like, this is my costume. You know?
Yeah. R.I.P.
Guys, I think that guy just died of bladder cancer. He's like, nah, he's being Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
It's all an act.
What did Pee Wee Herman have? Ass cancer? What type of cancer did he have for real?
I think it was hold on.
His bladder can you survive without a bladder? Kids probably survive without a bladder, can't you?
Well, then my joke doesn't really work if I'm wrong. Hold on.
God damn it.
It's nice that we have a Googler for once, because he can actually Google shit. He has his laptop, his shitty laptop in there.
Yeah, you could credit me as your research team. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's like he's like the guy when we're robbing a bank that's in the van with the fucking laptop, like, and they're unlocked. Like the snarky guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, he had leukemia and lung cancer, so I was way the fuck off.
Oh, yeah, that's a little far from the bladder there.
Yeah. It's right above
Leukemia
it.
and lung cancer. That's wild. 2 strikes and you're out, baby.
So we got breakfast today, and I asked for a mimosa flight at 9:15 in the morning, and the lady looked at me like I was fucking crazy. She said, "We don't serve alcohol until 10." I'm like, "Oh, can I do an Irish coffee?" She goes, "Let me ask." I'm like, I said that sarcastically. Like, I was like, "Oh, can I do this instead?" And then she comes back, she goes, "No, we can't serve alcohol until 10." I'm like, "I know, you just told me that 90 seconds ago." But I was like, I felt like such a degenerate asking for a fucking mimosa flight at 9 in the morning. Like, God damn it.
Whatever.
I need it.
I need it.
That
Yeah.
reminds me of the guy that walks into the bar. It's like, "Can I get a Coke?" It's like, "Sorry, only Pepsi products." It's like, "I'll do a Crown of Ginger." It's like, what? It's a pretty big jump from a cola.
If I can't get Coke, I'm getting drunk. Yeah.
So what's the earliest you can buy beer at a gas station? Because I know in like New Hampshire you can buy it till 10, but
Depends.
at like 6 a.m. can you pick up a 6-pack, or is that too early?
It depends on the state. It's different everywhere, dude. I don't think, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there is a time limit on beer in the Carolinas.
South Carolina, no. North Carolina, I don't know the earliest you could purchase it, but the latest you could purchase it is 2 a.m.
Okay, so it's probably
Holy shit.
it's probably like 2 to, it might be 2 to 10 or something then. From like 2 to 10, you can't buy it or whatever.
And then I know Sundays, it's any time before noon.
It's so annoying though, because it's like, what if you go grocery shopping early and you're getting ready for the weekend and you just happen to like have Saturday morning off? So you go grocery shopping, but it's 9:15 and you can't buy fucking beer. It's like, I have to come back in an hour?
Well, then
Like-
you got to sit cart to cart in those long ass lines during the rush at the grocery store before the football game.
Who are they saving though? Like, who's getting smashed at 8 a.m. and then driving around drunk? I mean, I guess you could still be awake from the night before. Couldn't you still
didn't
be awake
make
from the night
fucking
before at
rules.
10 though? Like I don't. It seems silly to me. That's all. I get it. Maybe from like 3 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Yeah, Josh, I've never been still drunk the next day. I don't know.
Oh.
No, no, I'm teasing.
Like still on a bender like all night and like a fuck, we're out. Like you're starting to get the shakes at like 5:15. Like fuck, dude, we gotta go now. I need this.
I need it. Yeah.
I remember. Oh my god, it was a couple of years ago. I don't remember the name of the hurricane, but it really came in hard on the coast of the southeast, and everybody was locked in for 5 days. And I was still at school because my house was close, or the school was closer inland than it was to the coast. So I was like, I'm just gonna stay here.
Yep.
I like remember days where I would get up at 7 a.m. sobering up and then slapping the bag, getting drunk off a box of wine and going back to sleep. And my eyes just being yellow, thinking like, oh my God, when is this going to end?
Yeah. Oh, man. Sounds like my weekend last weekend. How's it been? How's the married life so far there, Rick?
It's good, man. Yeah,
Feel any different?
We're still kicking. No, it's all the same other than I either play with my ring all day or I forget it at home and then I like keep reaching for it and it's not there. That's the only difference. Yeah.
So it's still got to get used to the ring. Interesting.
Yeah, but no, it's not bad. I like it. I'm glad I did it. We got some of the photos back. We're getting the videos and all that shit in a couple months. So I got to hold off on that. But no, it was good.
Take a picture of one of the photos I'm in and send it to me if I look good.
Oh, you will.
Oh,
you
baby.
Will get that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe are you going to put them all, like all the ones up, like in a drive somewhere or something so we could all look at them or something?
Yeah, I might throw them on Facebook or something. Yeah.
That'd be cool. Just so we could see them.
Yup.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, you want to sign off? Do you want to take us away? What do you think? Good Sode?
I can do that.
All right.
To tie a little creamy bow on this.
Thanks, Chris. Good guest spot there, guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to get ready for work.
Gentlemen,
I got to head out.
thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Yeah, maybe next time you'll have a fucking video feed of some kind. So just this dumb picture in the middle. But it's been a creamy one. Thank you, everybody.
On the ride over here, I was like, I don't want to ruin the integrity of these gentlemen by not having the proper equipment. And
well, you fucking blew it.
I know.
I wouldn't use the word integrity with what we do. You know, this is just
there is no
this
integrity.
Is just dick and fart jokes every hour, every Sunday for an hour.
Yeah.
My input was far from inadequate. So
yeah, we'll be right back to talking about more dicks and farts after these messages.
That's right.
Stay tuned.
I could smell my own from this 5x5 cell I'm sitting in.
Yeah. That fucking closet's about to smell like nutsack for the next week.
You want me to crack the door?
No, thanks. All right. Well, we're signing off, everybody. Thanks again, Chris, Rick. Till next week, everybody.
All right. Take care.
Stay creamy.
Stay creamy. Adios.